Experience tranquility. Pass into the iris.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Iris Podcast. I am your host, Mr. Yeti. Joining me tonight, we have Navino and we have NPC. How are you guys doing tonight?
Good. I'm living the dream over here.
It on a swaggin' wagon, aka my gaming chair. You know,
I believe.
Yeah.
I see that.
Of course, yeah.
All good. It's all good. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get the ball rolling here. Our usual segment tonight, just kick everything off, by the way, is amp it up. But make sure you stay tuned here, guys. We got lots coming up tonight. The Iris Top 8. We got the Hall of Fame announcements. We got some discussion on some Twitter questions. We got some announcements for you. We got some discussion on some of the teams lower in the bracket. We have a loaded podcast, so you're not going to want to miss it, guys. And also, of course, our weekly montage and comms check. But let's kick it off with Amp It Up. NPC, let's start with you. What was your favorite moment from last week? That was week 3 in Tranquility.
I can't believe I'm going to say it, but Squall won a game. Good job, guys. 3-1 over Steam. This is one for the record books, man. It'll never happen again, so enjoy it while you can.
Hey, they're much closer than they were last season. I'll tell you that.
It's true, but I'm really happy for
in the world in this season. As a predictor, I can confidently say that Squall being 2-1 was not a prediction that I had made, and that's not a slight on Squall. I'm happy for them. I am happy for them, but I certainly did not expect them to be a 2-1 team at this point. Now, granted, one of them was a forfeit, but you know what? You can't take it away. Can't take it away.
They got 2 dubs.
Two dubs. We could take it away if we look a Smurf, but we're not doing that because they don't have one. So, all right, and
that we know of.
That we know of. True.
Caden smurfing confirmed. Confirmed.
Navino,
too good on the May. Too good on the May.
Navino, what was your favorite moment from last week?
You know, I have no bias whatsoever. Of course, I never have bias. But I was really excited to see the Koala kind of, especially after like how Thug and Nagi were talking on the podcast last week about how shaky Koala's been stage 1, and getting like that quality win over Nemesis, which was a quality win. Like, it was their first real challenge of the season, and they responded well with a convincing 3-1 win. You know, only losing 2 CP because 2 CP is ew. And yeah, I was really excited to see that, and I was happy about how hard they've worked.
One thing I'll say about 2CP is it makes me excited that it's going to be pushed out in Overwatch 2. So
I miss
is that a pun?
I miss
is that a pun?
Right?
Of course it is.
You
must be fresh and new
NPC,
to the Iris podcast.
Did you miss the pun?
I ignored it on purpose because I'm heartbroken over the loss of 2CP.
Guys, my favorite moment last week was Redacted. They broke the curse. They lost in 2 straight reverse sweeps. Then they take on Poseidon, I believe, last week. And there's just all the cards are against them. They win their first 2 maps, and then it's just like, okay, now we lose the next 3, right? That's how this works for us. It was Hammerhead, pardon me. Nope. They went out, they finished it, big 4-0, Redacted. Now they're sitting 1-2, but they have a positive map differential, +2, which is weird. But Redacted finally off that really, really gross feeling of 2 reverse sweeps in a row. NPC, what are you most looking forward to this week?
I'm looking forward to the EU division reaching a point of parity. I feel like the EU division, like all the games leading up to this, a lot of them have been like 4-0s, just like easy, boom, you know, it's done. Not even close 4-0s, just 4-0s. But I was looking at some of the matchups this week, and there's a couple in there that I feel like are going to be really lopsided. But a lot of them I feel like in the EU division are actually going to be close this week. I feel like I'm looking at them and I'm like, I couldn't predict who was going to win this one. This is going to be like a 3-2. This is going to be a really good game. So I'm really excited to see the EU division kind of coming into its own now as the teams kind of gel and get together and everything.
Navino, where are you at on this one?
I would say probably our feature match on Thursday. You know, obviously no bias again. Oh wait, no, it's not the feature anymore.
Not the feature.
Never mind,
anymore.
I lied.
Wow.
But I still am looking forward to this match. Hey, look, I blame Stinky Vix. That's who I blame. Cosmic Castaways versus Quagga Queens, I think, is like the premier matchup this week in Discord tier. You know, 2 of our top 4 teams battling it out, and we're going to really see how Quagga stacks up, and we're going to see how Cosmic Castaways does for their first real challenge of the season, outside of the preseason championship, the regular season.
Now,
So,
the
yeah.
Cosmic and Quokka, this isn't their first matchup. They did play in the preseason. But preseason is preseason. It only gets you so.
Hey, man, I mean, Chief Mercy in that first game, so good. So good. Chief Mercy, bro.
My thing I was most looking forward to this week, I wrote down and is actually the wrong thing. So I'm looking forward to that 2 weeks from now. What I'm looking forward to most this week personally is seeing the Inferno Bowl, as I'm stealing from NPC.
Yeah.
The Inferno Bowl, Rampaging Inferno versus the Inferno Foxes. For no other reason than the name. I mean, for all I care, the match could be terrible, but I don't care because the name is amazing. The Inferno Foxes, Rampaging Inferno. It's perfect. It's perfect.
Mm-hmm. It sure is.
NPC, give me a bold prediction for the remainder of the season.
All right. The Imposter Maelstrom is actually going to get their act together, and they're going to outgrow their namesake and actually make a playoff run. They're actually going to grow beyond. They're going to be the new Maelstrom. The other one's going to be the Great Value when they're done.
Navino, your bold prediction for the remainder of the season here.
I think Luminous Foxes are going to sputter out in stage 2 and lose in the round 1 playoffs. It's my bold prediction. I have a lot of questions after casting them, and I mean, they may have gotten better, but I just don't think they look that great. And their pool is kind of, in my opinion, kind of easy. Outside of FBRD and maybe Big Bang.
Navino coming in hard with the Fox Den hate day on the podcast. My bold prediction, a little bit more positive. For the first time, and this is because Harmony Tier, I think Harmony Tier has more parity, is more balanced than really it has been in many seasons. I feel like it is such an open tier right now that there are a lot of teams who on any given Wednesday could really just rise up and take advantage of the opportunity and really push to become champion. Previous seasons we've had clear favorites. This season we don't have a clear favorite right now. And that's what's kind of awesome. So for the first time ever in Harmony Tier, I'm thinking an elimination pool team. I'm thinking one of those lower end teams that we're going to see after stage 1 is going to make a push in stage 2. I think we might see even them not necessarily making a run to the championship bracket, but watch Elam Pool Finals, something like that. I could definitely, lower bracket finals, something like that. I could definitely see some of those teams making a big push to get to that point in the playoffs here. So something to keep an eye out for in that Harmony Tier for sure. Before we get to our montage, we have our Hall of Fame inductee for this week. We've had 2 so far this season that have been announced. The first one was, of course, Smugs. That was in our week 2 podcast. And last week we announced Ice as well into the Hall of Fame. And this week we would like to announce another inductee. And our inductee this week is somebody who has been part of the Tranquility community now since season 3. They've been around for a very long time. When they first came into the community, I would say maybe not the world's greatest reputation, NPC. You think that's probably a fair statement? Yeah. Definitely was getting into a lot of trouble. Definitely was really causing problems for a lot of people. And at one point, they were trying to make an effort to just get banned. That was their own words. But they stuck around, and quite honestly, I'm super thankful that they did, because they have been a fantastic part of the community. They have become a leader in the community, and not only in just the way they conduct themselves, they conduct orgs they have run, and they conduct themselves as a member of the Tranquility staff. And somebody I brought on to the Tranquility staff as my assistant Transcendence Tier director in season 6. And I was really happy that I did, because he has done an outstanding job, and he is the person who took my place here in season 8 and has again been fantastic in that role and continues to really shine as a member of Tranquility Gaming. And that is Chimanzi. So we would like to say our congratulations to Chimanzi. I think it's a very well-deserved Hall of Fame award. NPC, you know as well as I do, we had our problems with that Chimanzi at the very start of his time here in Tranquility, but He has definitely grown into a hell of a member of our staff and has really done an awesome job in making Tranquility what it is today.
Everybody loves that anime redemption arc.
Exactly.
So.
It's a great story. And the fact of the matter is that if you put yourself put yourself out there and really try to do new things and, do it in a respectful manner in a way that, we in a way that's going to, benefit the community, like Chim showed it to us. And that's why he got the shot that he did and he thrived in it. So, Chim, I got nothing but respect and love for you, buddy. You really, really have made a difference in the community, and it's been awesome having you here. So congratulations to you and your Hall of Fame induction. So, what? Yes, Navito?
I really can't imagine Chim being toxic, honestly. And
I know, isn't it? Like, the way he acts now, you would not imagine it at all. But I've seen the posts and the memes in the old VitC Discord, and damn.
I just remember playing him in season 5.
They did not like me.
When Habs won in season 5. I haven't been impressed by Frost Nova either, right? And then Professionals take them at 5. And then they draw a map versus Steam, a team who hasn't won a map yet. You know, so it's just like they haven't gotten a quality win. And I think Nemesis, even though they have a loss, have been in a harder group. I really think Harmony has 2 really stacked groups this season, and I just don't see Professionals being up there. I think Nemesis should be in top 8. Outside of that, like, I'm okay with it. I do think, like, obviously bias, you know, I think Qual is the best team right now, but, you know, I also respect Jersey Boys in those signature wins, right?
It's like, I mean, you can't argue with the results. It's been
yeah.
Both teams have great signature wins, like you said, 3-1 Nemesis, or Qual over Nemesis, and then Jersey Boys got the 3-2 over Galactic, and now the 4 over Geometric. Those are quality wins all around. NPC, your thoughts on this?
I mean, I look at that top 8, and I just want to say, Jersey Boys, finally. I don't know. This is going to be news to a lot of people. Okay,
3 seasons in the making.
But Jersey Boys have been playing here for 3 seasons. Okay, we like never talked about Jersey Boys the past 2 seasons at all because we slept on them, even though they were a pretty good team last season. Like they were, you know,
they made waves in the playoffs. Their playoff run was awesome last season.
Yeah, I mean, but we still never talked about them. We slept on them all season, and this season they're finally getting there, and we're saying, hey, Jersey Boys is number 1, and all those players are like, they're talking about us now. It took you long enough. But I mean, I'm pleased. You know, they put in the effort. They're on the grind, and here they are. So
you just got to keep pushing, and anything's possible. And I know going into the season, not a lot of us were predicting the Jersey Boys to be 3-0 right now. I certainly was not, and I love the Jersey Boys, but I was not expecting them to be 3-0 right now. Discord tier now is your next one, and I believe I got the video in, but we'll find out in a second here. Yes, in 8th, we have Ragnarok Fenrir, and in 7th is Oreo Fleet. 6th place is Domination. In 5th, in our Iris top 8, you have Valkyrie. And in 4th is the Quokka Queens. In 3rd is the SEAL Team Spuds. In 2nd is Joseph Electronic Sports. And in 1st is the Cosmic Castaways. Navino, let's get your thoughts here on this Discord top 8.
I actually, you know, I was saying to Yeti before the cast, I was like, it's hard for me to pick up something I mostly agree with. So I'm going to get really specific here and talk about that I don't think Spuds moved back in the top 3 for me yet. And yes, you can like say like LCS didn't have a monitor for a map.
Not just for one map, for 3 maps he didn't have a monitor.
But Spuds don't have like a quality win yet. And they have that loss to Joey. While QQ has like between the 2 teams, I think Drake is the highest quality opponent that they've beaten so far between the 2. I can't say highest quality Matt or opponent overall because like Spuds played Joey, but Spuds lost to Joey, right? I just think right now Quokka is top 3 till I see the CCQQ game. Once I see that game, I think I'll be able to figure it out because then they'll both have 1 loss. They'll both be more even footing to me.
All right, NPC, your thoughts on Discord to your top 8.
Looking at that, I feel like there's some teams at the bottom. I mean, there's a lot of teams at the top that I feel like got there because of some notoriety, some name recognition. Just, you know, we're not surprised. Cosmic Castaways, you know, a lot of veteran players, you know, Joseph Electronic Sports, once again, a lot of veteran players, a lot of friends in the community. SEAL Team Spuds, everybody loves the potatoes, you know, that kind of thing. But then we see like at the bottom, you know, okay, 7 and 8, we got Oreo Fleet and Fenrir. I mean, Oreo Fleet was 3-2 against Redacted. They 4-0'd Poseidon and they 4-0'd Alt F4. I feel like, I mean, that's a good team. Oreo Fleet's a fantastic team. And Fenrir, same way, 3-1 Rift, 3-1 Inferno. And then 4-0, I also wrote Inferno for some reason. It's probably wasn't, they didn't play Inferno twice.
Who do you drop then, NPC?
Oh, the Inferno Foxes and I'm just saying, maybe reshuffle them. Put Fleet and Fenrir up a little bit higher. I mean,
I don't really know who I dropped down, as well as like, you know, there's like a team missing like a Space Created, but I want to say for Space Created, please, like, you know, play someone good and then get back to me.
Space created the schedule is a little wishy-washy for them so far.
Right. We'll see what happens in stage 2.
Yeah, we will. Like,
that's
also their game versus did they play Oreo Fleet yet?
No, they have not. That's week 5. That is a week 5 match.
Yeah, that's what determines it for me personally. Till they play someone good, I just can't justify bringing them in.
And that's the thing you get with stage 1 versus stage 2. You see a lot of teams in these stage 1 groups that are just easy groups, but then you see them get to stage 2 and they start to thrive a little bit more, and they start to actually play against competitive teams, and that's when they start to get noticed a lot more. We saw this last season with teams like Echo Fleet from last season, for instance. Yeah. Echo Fleet was kind of looked at as, oh, they're a pretty good team. I just don't think they can compete with the very top. And then they went out and they won their A pool. And then people suddenly were like, oh, wow, this is a really good team. We could very easily see that going into there's a lot of factors that go into these schedules, and things can be very different. For a team like, amateur professionals who may have an easier pool. Suddenly they get into next stage and things are a lot harder, and you never know how their things are going to turn. There's a lot of things that go into it, so we'll see how it ends up working out here, guys. Transcendence tier top 8. Let's start off with number 8. It's Uzumaki, and in 7th place is the Billings Boomers. In 6th, you have Reckless Sigma, and in 5th is Carnage. In 4th is Battalion. And in 3rd are the Devil Dukes. In 2nd, you have the Decapitators. And coming in 1st, you have the preseason Transcendence tier champions, Epizeuxis. Davino, your thoughts?
I didn't see him playing preseason. Their pool is like what? Uzumaki, Kent State, Puerto Rico team. It kind of goes into what I've been saying all night. Like, it's hard to rate these teams that you think look good on paper, and also I know where people are rating their additions. But until I see them play in the roles that they're known for, until I see them play a strong opponent, I have trouble giving them the leg up over Dukes, Battalion. I think Decap's 4th in my book, because I think both Dukes and Battalion have harder schedules and have done and shown more consistency across the board. That is the only outside of that, I think Trans tier is kind of straightforward. Outside top 4 is really set to me. Outside of top 4, it's kind of a wash.
I'm just saying, you're saying that. I think you're sleeping on Uzumaki and Reckless Arcadia when you talk there. Just saying. Arcadia's put up some good performances. Same with Uzumaki. Just saying on that. I feel like that needs to be mentioned. I'm not saying
that's fair.
Just saying. I think you're sleeping a little bit on Arcadia. They've looked really good in my opinion. Uzumaki, I never doubted Denzel team. That's just kind of my general rule of thumb. They seem to always shine when they show up here. NPC, your thoughts on Trans top 8?
Navino kind of stole my thing here. I'm thinking the top 4 is, I didn't see the votes on this, right? But I feel like the top 4 are that they're all a jumble up there. They're all tied for 1st, right? And then 5th place and on down is it's a big mix. It could be anybody down there. And I feel like it's one of those situations that we have often, and we see it a lot more in historically, we've seen it in Discord tier, where there's the top 4 teams and then everybody else. And, when we go to seed the playoffs, we end up putting them in brackets so that they don't eliminate each other right away, because we need to see them progress. But I feel like the top 4, Epizeuxis, Decaps, Devil Dukes, Battalion, those are 4, top tier teams. And then everybody else, they're good, but there's a big gap there. And I feel like they need to step up their game to get to that top 4, because you're not going to break that top 4.
For me, I look at the Trans tier top 8. I see the top 3 as the best teams. I think Battalion just too inconsistent. We've seen them look great at times. We've seen them look not great at times. I think Battalion on any given day could beat any one of those teams at the top. But at the same time, I could see them drop into any mid-tier team in Trans on any given day. They're just wildly inconsistent, and I think that'll happen whenever you have a team who may not be pushing as hard in the scrims, may not be pushing as hard, to try to improve as players. You might not, as a team, you might not see that level of consistency that you'd want to have from a top tier team, which is why I think Epi, Decaps, and Devil Dukes are just on their own level right now in trans tier. I'm still saying you gotta watch. I think Arcadia should be on this list personally. I'd personally drop Billings Boomers out, put Uzumaki down to keep them at 8th. I'd put Arcadia in 7th. I think the Reckless teams, they're not at that same level right now as like Epizeuxis, Decaps, Devil Dukes, but I think they're getting there. And Mick Jr. coach teams are very good. So something to think about. All right, EU Harmony, the top 4. It's going to look awfully familiar, folks. Start off with the top 4. We have in 4th, the Venice Vipers. And in 3rd, you have Feeders United. In 2nd is Apollo. And last but not least, the top of the tier right now are the Scrimbucks. Navino, your thoughts on our friends across the pond?
Where's my paid to win? They're paying me to say this. Really, like, you talked about an NPC. Like, there's some just dominant teams in EU Harmony, and I think this is a pretty good representation. I think maybe the only team that makes that cracks top 4 is paid to win. That's not there. I also find it funny that this is the first Kaleidoscope team since Crystal's last season that's done anything well. I joke. I partially joke. So overall, I think it's a pretty good top 4.
NPC, follow that one up, buddy.
Okay. Paid to win or need to be collecting unemployment or something because they're not winning. They're not the top 4 at least. I mean, we got Scrimbucks. Look at that, 4-0, 3-time back, and they're the preseason champions. There's just a lot of just separation. And Apollo, fantastic team, drops 1 map so far. We're looking at a really, really stacked roster here, but once again, we got top 3, top 4, and then everybody else. It's kind of a jumble, but we'll see what happens in stage 2. Maybe some of it's lucky pools, some of it's just the teams are still finding their footing. But I like watching those games. I mean, I've seen some on their own personal streams, and some teams are Italian, and some teams are French, and some teams are British, and they're all speaking all these different languages, and it's really fun to watch. Even if you don't understand, you know what they're saying. Brick.
Well, you have one common language, that is Overwatch Heroes.
Yeah, one common language. Monkey. I think there's a big argument for paid to win to be on here, but I think right now that's the top 5. The only other team who I think you could make maybe, there are some 1 and 2 teams who I think are pretty decent. Especially teams who have taken on that Apollos and the EU Scrimbucks. I'm keeping a close eye on Acer. I think Acer looks honestly pretty good. I think Thunderbolt Rewind in general looks pretty good. I think Orthus doesn't look too bad either, but right now they're all chasing the top. And that's the big problem right now is I don't know who can beat Scrimbucks. I don't know who outside of Scrimbucks can beat Apollo. And I don't know who outside of Apollo and Scrimbucks can beat Feeders United. That's the situation we're seeing develop right now. Although A10 took Feeders United to a 3-2, so who knows? Anything could be out the window here, but we'll see what happens, guys. That's the benefit. The good thing about EU being a smaller tier is we're going to get to see every single one of these teams on broadcast throughout the season multiple times. So we'll get a great view and a great idea of how well that tier is going to play out. So. Great benefit there. Make sure you tune in tomorrow, by the way. It's at 2:30 Eastern time on this channel. That's going to be 8:30 CET for the EU feature match. You're not going to want to miss that, I believe.
Yeah, Feeders United and Thunderbolt Rewind. I think that's going to be a close one. That's one of those close ones that I've been looking forward to in the EU because they've been blowouts so far, but I think this one's going to go. It's going to be good.
All right, let's get now to your next segment here, guys, and that is some Twitter questions. Some people brought up some Twitter questions. We're gonna kind of blitz our way through these. I know most of them suck. Just to be perfectly honest with you guys, do better. But let's get to one first here. Any individual players standing out as early MVP contenders? Navino, anybody standing out to you?
I gotta say, man that's been playing Rhine, for 3 seasons. Rodzilla, I gotta say it. Man's is a manimal. Not a marsupial. And he just does really well. His Ryan's really good. His monkey actually has improved a ton because I remember seeing in past seasons that Jersey Boys was quite literally a brawl one-trick team, and now it feels like they're well-rounded because Godzilla's finally kind of coming to his own on the other tanks.
Yes. NPC, your thoughts in the Harmony NA?
I'm thinking Rocco Neko, Luminous Foxes. Luminous Foxes kind of struggling a little bit, kind of in the middle of the pack, but like you said, Harmony tier is very free and very open right now. Any team, any given Wednesday can just step up, and I think Rocco Neko is the rock for that team. I'm sorry. And I really feel like, just as an all-around off-tank, flex tank, Rocco's doing some great work there and, keeping that team together. And I feel like that's kind of an early candidate for me. I just like tank play, in general. I'm rarely going to go DPS. But
I guess you could say Rocco is rocking your world, NPC.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there you go, my man. All right.
No.
He's a bad influence on me again. He's a bad influence.
I'm going to go with another Jersey Boys player for MVP because as great as Godzilla has been this season, I think low-key they have one of the players who is going to be one of the standout players this season, who was here last season, never got talked about at all. Not even a lick. I don't think I ever heard their name once on this podcast, but right now I think you're looking at one of the top 3 hit scans in the entire tier. Maybe one of the top 3 DPS in the entire tier, and that's Titan from Jersey Boys. Titan just flat out has been fantastic this season, and I've had the opportunity to watch a lot of their matches. I'm telling you right now, Titan is ridiculous, and that team does really well as a team. They've been playing together for a really long time, which helps them a ton, but there are so many times where I saw Titan just kind of deadlift that team. And just with really fantastic Widowmaker play. I saw them win Widowmaker 1v1s against Widowmain, who was outstanding in the preseason on that same hero. And even has their name is Widowmain. So just it's an incredible, he's an incredible DPS. I think Titan is just the person that I'm really watching right now to be just an absolute force this season. Let's go to EU Harmony tier, and Navino, start us off.
Not gonna lie, kind of struggled a little bit. So I went with someone not from EU Scrimbucks. We're not. I went with the 2 Madre, the flex DPS from Venice Vipers, mostly because I thought his Doomfist was very good. Also, you have to be have a level of confidence to run Doomfist on Ilios. Not a good Doomfist map at all. So the fact that he ran it and they did it well, I was like, I can see this. I can see this happening.
NPC, your thoughts, EU Harmony tier.
Well, you do have to run on Ilios. It's mandatory is the Pharah. And in EU, there's no better Pharah than Jackson on the EU Scrimbox. I went there. I went for the obvious choice. Low-hanging fruit there.
Yep.
Pharah might not necessarily be meta here, but over there, I don't know. Whatever goes. I don't know if it's an meta EU issue or if it's just a meta there, or if it's just Harmony tier and you just play what you're good at. But Jackson just tearing it up on that Pharah. We got to see it in the preseason finals. Just fantastic work there. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Jackson. Use Scrimbucks.
I'm watching a player from Apollo. I'm looking at Gadren from Apollo, DPS player for that team. We've seen them shine already multiple times. They look really good. The thing with Apollo that I think is interesting is I think right now Scrimbucks is just the heavy favorite, but we haven't seen Scrimbucks take on Apollo yet. And that's what I want to see. I want to see these two perceived juggernauts of the tier finally get it on here. Stage 2, you're going to see it happen, and I'm really excited for that. But I think Gadren from Apollo, to me, is just an outstanding looking DPS player. You may mispronounce that as Garden, and you'd be wrong. It's Gadren.
Gadren.
Just get it right. Let's go.
Game of Thrones? Like, what?
Discord tier now, Navino. Who do you got?
As much as I hate naming a Cosmic Castaway as my MVP favorite, I gotta go with the person that hates Assault, because I also hate Assault, aka Pyro, the flex support from Cosmic Castaways. Every time he's in, he's just really good. He's really consistent. And like, you know, Apathy even said it, I think, in the preseason finals that when he got interviewed, right? Or in the podcast. I don't remember when he said it, but I'm pretty sure he said it, where Apathy's like, I'm just the bench boy, so he doesn't have to play Assault, man. He's like, doesn't have to play 2CP. And every time he's in, they just look like a different team.
NPC, your thoughts on the Discord tier current early MVP candidate?
Okay, early MVP candidate. You know what? Today is 3.14. It's National Pie Day. And you know what I got in the mail today is a McDonald's apple pie. That's right. The employee of the month himself sent me an apple pie on Pie Day. So I'm going to go with Cryptic J4. So I can be bought, by the way, and my price is an apple pie.
You got that in the mail?
I'm kidding.
Are
It's
you
not
sure?
Cryptic Force. I'm never picking Cryptic Force.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
I appreciate the pie, though. Thanks, dude.
Did he actually send you the pie? Hold up.
No, this would be so nasty if you.
Now it is McDonald's.
I mean,
probably
McDonald's can live through like a nuclear apocalypse.
Yes.
Man.
Okay. My actual early MVP is going to be Seraph from SEAL Team Spuds. Just DPS all over the place. Cassidy, Reaper, you name it, he's playing it, and he's playing it well, and doing a lot of work for SEAL Team Spuds. Probably not the best player on SEAL Team Spuds, probably not even the best player in the tier, but got a lot of name recognition and does a really good job at the one job he's got. So, Seraph, that's mine.
All right. And last but not least, Discord tier. By the way, Swifters, Joey Esports, nothing else needs to be said. I'm not going to inflate his ego anymore. Otherwise, Navino's going to kill me. Swifters.
Yeah.
Swifters. Transcendence tier. Navino, start us off.
Wow. I didn't expect you to do that quickly. I said Raijin. Is that how you say it? Raijin from Battalion. I think he Widow diffed Frozen. That's all you gotta know. He Widow diffed Frozen. That's really it. He's the most consistent player on that team, in my opinion, outside of PDK. What?
I'm sorry.
What?
NPC, you go next.
What?
I was stuttering over my
pie.
words. Eat your apple pie.
Here's what I got.
What's going on?
I got my MVP for Transcendence tier it's got to be Cam from Epizeuxis, okay? And I'll tell you why. It's really simple. I can be bought, and it's fuel skins. He's got the fuel skin buff, okay? Wins games by wearing the fuel skins. He's going to get MVP wearing the fuel skins. It's going to happen. I'm calling it now.
I agree. Cam is the
We're
best.
blue, baby.
Cam is the greatest, and
Stop.
only Cam.
No.
Stop. Cam is the best. I just have to say it right now. Cam is my favorite.
Why?
Just a big Cam W in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. No, it genuinely, if I'm gonna say Transcendence tier MVP, I think there's only one person you can say. They are on Epizeuxis, and it's Cam. Let's get to your next question here for the next Twitter question, and that is going to be your favorite moment in Tranquility history. Tranquility has a storied history, guys. Been around for a long time, 5 years. Navino, you've been around for about 3 of those years? About 2.5? 3? Because you showed up
Whatever season 5.
So about 2.5 years. About 2.5 years now, I'd say, roughly. 2.5 years. What's been your favorite moment since you've been here?
I mean, I really got to go back to when to playing, like, because that's what comes to mind. And I think my favorite casting moment as well is just you and NPC actually casting when I get this 3K remake on Route 66 versus Firefight in the Season 6 finals. And it was just too hilarious. The entire thing was just so funny of how I just killed 3 and we win. Well, it's either that or when QZY locks the main tank and leads the comeback against Aphelion for Joey in playoff season 6. Season 6 was definitely like a lot of highlights for me.
NPC, you've been around since season 2, so you've been around for a very long time. Tell us what's been your favorite moments.
I also have a lot of great moments from season 6. My favorite part was we raised over $10,000 for charity during our event week for season 6. It was just event week is always a highlight of the season for a lot of different teams, a lot of different players. Everybody loves event week. It's just for fun. It's even more for fun stuff in our for fun tournament, right? It's Widowmaker 1v1s and 2v2s and Torbjorn hammers and I don't know, all sorts of like other games that we can play just as a community, and we do it for a good cause. And we've got an event week coming up here in just like 2-3 weeks, right? It's coming up, and this year we're going to benefit Ukraine. We're benefiting Project Hope. So all the donations are going to go to Project Hope to help Ukraine. We've got some great incentives up there right now. Actually, if you want to go ahead and get started, I got a secret. ! Donate in the chat. We'll give you a link to get there and see all those incentives. You can 1v1 content creators. You can get rewards like enamel pins and all sorts of good stuff. So we've got stuff on there, and I'm going to be adding it all week.
Yep.
So keep checking back there for those incentives. Those are going to be really awesome.
A lot of those incentives are going to be added over the coming weeks. Technically, this does not kick off again until September. Wow. Until March 27th. But at the same time, if you guys want to take a look now, you can and start, look at it. Again, this is all for Project Hope as part of their Hope for Ukraine campaign. All the money that is raised goes towards medical supplies, food, clothing, items for children, insulin, things that these refugees,
diapers, nursing, all sorts of stuff.
There's so many things, guys. We raised $10,000 in season 6, and I mean, we're talking about favorite memories. I was so moved by the generosity of all of us here in a community where the average age is college age at best. There's all these people, young and old, coming together to raise an incredible amount of money for charity in the height of a pandemic when jobs are uncertain, school's still expensive as hell. People are still going out and donating to such a cause. It was truly one of the most incredible and moving things I have ever seen in my life. And I'm an old fart. And it was extremely moving to see that. So I do hope that we can even do better this season, because I don't think we've ever had a truly bigger and better cause than we have this season with Hope for Ukraine. And I'm hoping you guys can also help us out with that. Again, ! Donate in the chat. If you want to take a look, maybe get an early donation in, you certainly can. But our true campaign will not kick off again until the week of the 27th. So stay tuned for more about Event Week, including more to be announced later tonight. Last question here from Twitter. What is the one thing you feel like that a person can get from Tranquility that they really can't get from other tournaments? There's a lot of Overwatch tournaments out there, guys. Tranquility is just one of them. But we like to try to do things a little bit differently here. And Navino, you've got a ton of experience across many tournaments. What do you think people can do in Tranquility to kind of get the most out of the experience that Tranquility can offer?
I left this kind of I left this blank in our outline because I wasn't really sure how to put into words. Because the last tournament that made me feel like how Trank makes you feel in terms of content, in terms of just like you feel like every match matters and every team matters, right? And I felt like that. I feel like that when I played in League Zero, which is where I really got my start, was Owlet in League Zero. And League Zero just did that really well because they had a similar podcast type thing, right? And that's what really sets it apart for me. If you want to get involved, talk about who you think is good, but be respectful about it. Don't be a jerk, But overall, if we talk about each other, we care about how good everyone's getting. Like when someone hits GM, it's like it's a big W in chat. It's like a larger scale. I don't want to say like family because I think that's really cliche and kind of sappy, but like it just feels good to be part of a community that actually, where your gameplay, your teams feel like they matter and are valued, which is the only thing I can really describe how and that's why like Marsupial has 5 teams, because like my players feel like they get talked about, like they feel validated by the efforts they're putting into this game because we take the time to talk about them as a community.
NPC, what advice would you give to new players?
I don't know about advice, but I can tell you that you get out of Tranquility what you put into it. And I spent the majority of season 2, my first season here, we were Gravity team, right? We lived in our own server. We never like ventured into the Tranquility server except for match days to get the voice channel, and then back to our server. And kind of towards the end of that, I was like, this was cool and all, but like there's a whole lot going on there. There's this whole like podcast, and there's this whole, just infrastructure of people that's a community. There's a tournament and there's a community. If you want to show up on Wednesday, play your game, and then bounce, fine. That's fine. You can get that anywhere though. What you get out of Tranquility is a community of players. You get that long storied history about memes, that the employee of the month, Cryptic J Force, and that kind of stuff that just comes naturally, and it builds this history, and it's so rich. And when you're here long enough, the more you're paying attention to it, the more you grow to love it. And that's what makes Tranquility different. There's a lot of tournaments out there, but there's not very many communities. So the more you put into it, the more you get out of it, and just the more you interact, and you build friendships, and you build relationships with people. And the in-person meetups were fantastic, and we will do one of those again one day, I promise. And just there's so much to do for Tranquility, and you don't get that out of other servers. There are a billion other Discords I'm in, and none of them offer the level of like companionship, and people care about each other. Like there's teams that respect each other. They're rivals, but they still respect each other. When they do well, I'm genuinely happy for you. I'm genuinely happy for my opponent who did well. And the players that don't have that same mindset, they typically don't last long. They go find those other tournaments where they can just pop into the tournament, play, and then leave, because that's what they want. But the people that stay in Tranquility stay because the people care about them. That's the way it is.
Our whole philosophy, my whole philosophy in Tranquility has always been to make it feel bigger than it actually is. In the end, we are purely a T4 to T100 for heart. Like, I mean, we are just another T4 Overwatch tournament. If you really look at us in the bare bones, that is all we are. But we always have tried to make it feel like a bigger deal than it actually is. That's why we have this podcast. That's why we have this. That's why we have all these extra programs. It's why we put forward a professional production. Because we want it to feel like a big deal, even though it's really not a big deal. In the grand scheme of the world, it is not a big deal at all. But we want it to feel like a big deal. We want it to be a place where everybody can escape all the bullshit that's in the world, because there is a lot of it, guys. Like, look what's going on out there. The world kind of sucks sometimes, for young and old. So, like, trust me when I say, like, we did this because we wanted to create a place that was special and felt unique and different. And now we're excited because we get to do more games, and that's awesome too. So we got to get going here, guys. We got a lot to get through here. We're going to kind of blitz through this next segment as fast as we can. So analysts, keep these answers about 10 seconds long. What we're going to be talking about is crunch time, folks. It's crunch time for a lot of teams. They're trying to play their way out of the elimination pool here in Tranquility this season. What the elimination pool is, for those of you who don't know, if you are in the bottom 2 of your group in stage 1, you will go to the elimination pool. It is a Swiss-style pool for everybody outside of EU. EU, you only have 4 teams there, so it won't be Swiss. You'll just play each other. But for the for the other tiers, it's Swiss style, and you play 3 weeks. And once 3 weeks are done, if you are in the bottom 4 of that ranking, you don't get to play in the playoffs. There's not very many people who don't. So elimination pool is so dangerous. If you get there, any rough scheduled week could be the end of your season. So elimination pool is not where you want to be, and you got to find a way to punch your way out of there. 24 team tiers in Harmony Discord, or Harmony NA, Discord, and Transcendence. 20 teams make the playoffs, 4 teams eliminated. And in Harmony EU, it's 10 teams make the playoffs with 2 teams eliminated. So you do not want to be in that elimination pool. There's too much danger. So stay out of the bottom 2 in your stage 1 pool, and you're good. But who's going to stay out of that is the question. Let's start in Harmony A. We had 3 teams in danger right now. Shake and Bake picking up their first win. They're 1-2. Chrysalis at 0-3, and Fighting Potatoes at 0-3. Who's going to escape these pools? Who's going to escape this pool? One of those 3 teams, Navino.
I'll be real. I definitely spaced for a second. I'm sorry. I would say I think Chrysalis personally. Because I think they just had a really, really tough start to the season. They played Nemesis, Strix, and Koala all in a row. I think Pepper gives them like a really nice carry DPS because like Pepper's been really good since he's come to Trank. And I think they're better than Shake and Bake, and they'll probably be better than Potatoes.
All right, NPC, your thoughts on who's going to escape here?
Okay, I'm going the opposite. I think Shake and Bake get out of this, okay? I think they take the W against Chrysalis here, and then I think 50-50 versus Nemesis. Nemesis can be a really strong team, but they can also be kind of unpredictable. So if things start going downhill for Nemesis at the beginning, it'll just keep going downhill the rest of the game. I think Shake and Bake has a good chance here.
Orem B, you have Fahrenheit 972 at 1-2, and you have Frostbloom and Boop sitting both at 0-3. 2 of these teams definitely looking at elimination pool here. Who is going to escape out of this pool? Navino, start us off.
I said F972. They have a win already. I think that they can beat one of the remaining teams, personally.
Navino, or I'm sorry, NPC, your thoughts?
I wrote the exact same thing. F972, because I think they take an L versus Luminous, okay, but then they take a W versus Frostbloom, and then that makes them, 2 and 3. They get out based on map differential.
All right, skipping the other 2 in Harmony, Indigo, because both Turbo Throwers in Steam and Wildfire in 3.5, they're already pretty much virtual locks for the elimination pool, so we're going to go ahead and move on to the next one. That's Harmony EU A pool. You have Acer sitting at 1-2, Thunderbolt Rewind at 1-2, and you have Orthus at 1-2, and you have A10 at 0-3. So 2 of these teams are going to get out. Which 2 teams are going to get out of this and survive elimination pool? Navino, your thoughts first.
Not gonna lie to you, I definitely thought we were only picking 1.
I'm sure.
So I picked Acer, but I actually see my number 2 choice is also Thunderbolt. Both teams have had decent results and looked okay in their losses, and I think they'll bring it back.
NPC, who's coming out of this one?
Okay, I think I put Thunderbolt down as mine because I also thought we were going to take just 1 each from this one. But they take an L against the Feeders tomorrow afternoon. But it'll be close. They get a win over A10. And then my second choice might be actually Orthus. Acer is pretty good, but Orthus is also a pretty decent team. We've seen them in a feature match as well. So it could go either way, but I'm going Thunderbolt and Orthus.
That is a really good pool, by the way. I feel like that pool is really very strong.
EUB,
again, a little mixed up. We're going to skip that one for now. Discord Orem A. You got Firefight at 1-2, Storybook Heroes at 1-2, and Monarch at 0-3. One of those teams going to escape this. Navino, who do you got?
I picked Firefight. Like, they just have names. Monarch doesn't look great. Storybook, The only one win is against Monarch, so.
NPC, your thoughts?
Yeah, I take the same thing. I say Firefight here because Firefight, they go 4-0 over Monarch here. And then I think Storybook, or they already went 4-0 over Monarch. And then Storybook Heroes beat Monarch, but it was 3-1. So Firefight, I think, has the advantage there. And since they play each other in week 5.
Transitive properties.
going to come out. Yeah, exactly. But based on the transitive properties, because one team did better against Monarch than the other, then they should theoretically do better against each other. So I feel like Firefight's going to actually take that win against Storybook. Both of them are going to lose next week. And then
NPC hits you with the hard science. That's what we expect here on the Iris podcast, guys. Let's go to Orem B now in Discord tier. Frost Surge is sitting at 1 and 2. You got Regicide and Oath, both at 0 and 3. Who's going to get out of this, and who is going to move on to the B pool, and who is going to get out of the elimination pool? Navino, start us off.
I said Frost Surge. They've looked better. They already have a win. And the only real stomp they've been a part of was when Drakes beat them week 1 really easily. So I think they have a more consistent ability to beat Regicide and Oath later on.
NPC, your thoughts?
I say Frost Surge as well. They got the win versus Regicide. They lost Quokka Queens, of course, but then Regicide and Oath basically play each other in week 5. So Regicide and Oath of those last two teams. So one of those teams is going to be winless all stage. And so Frost Surge has got to come out on top.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Hard math there.
Indigo A, you got 3 teams. Again, 2 spots in the elimination pool. One team will escape it. Rampaging Inferno, they're at 1 and 2. Inferno Foxes and Rift, both at 0 and 3. Navino, who's going to get out of this?
I say Rampaging Inferno. They took a map off Spuds. They beat Rift. I really do not think Inferno Foxes are good this season, unfortunately. So I have Rampaging Inferno in the Inferno Bowl.
Okay. I go the opposite way. I go Inferno Foxes in the Inferno Bowl. Okay. Rampaging Inferno was only 2-1 versus Rift. Okay. And in the Inferno Bowl, it's got to go the way of the Foxes. And then they get the W against Rift. So I feel like Foxes can pull this out.
Let's get now to Indigo B. You got, again, 3 teams, 2 spots in elimination, 1 team going to survive. Redacted at 1 and 2. Again, that weird schedule, that weird start, the 3 and 2 reverse sweeps. Hammerhead 0 and 3, Poseidon 0 and 3. Who's going to come out of this? Navino.
I say Redacted. They play Poseidon, who they should be able to beat, and then they probably lose, or they could probably beat all that 4, honestly. Yeah.
NPC, who's getting out of this?
You know what? I went with the underdog here. I went with Poseidon. I think they get the W over Redacted here, and then I think they get the W over Hammerhead. So,
all right, easy. Transcendence tier. There's only really one pool to talk about for who's gonna get out of it, because in Orem you kind of have people who are already kind of locked in pretty close to elimination pool, with some withdrawals and whatnot. The pool we're going to look at is Indigo A. You got Meraki sitting at 1 and 2. You got Fahrenheit 214 at 1 and 2, but working through some roster stuff. You got Danger Close as well. They are at 0 and 3. Who's coming out of this? Navino.
I said Meraki. They already beat Danger Close, which was just just unfortunate for them. But since they already beat the other team in contention with them, I just do not see them going to Elam Pool, and I don't think F214 is going to rebuild in time.
NBC?
I'm going the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Meraki, I would say F214. I really believe in them, but they're going through some roster changes right now, so I think they get into that elimination pool. They make their roster changes, and then maybe they come back out of it, to the playoffs. But as of right now, Meraki is the only one that looks like they're going to make it.
All right, guys, last calls out for giveaway entries. Get those in right now. Comms check is coming up right now. Thanks to Billy for the comms check.
That can't go in the comms check because it's right in here. Yeah, I'll put it in anyways.
And we didn't beat the Stormbucks, whatever. Starbucks.
That's their new name. Starbucks for the rest of the season.
Alright, $20 on Vic's getting an open pick.
You're losing 20, dog.
20,
You are losing 20. Okay.
Would you rather have a game, 2 games, and 1 game? Or games but no games?
Both winnable. D.Va's on me in the back, but you guys are fine.
Ryan's one.
D.Va coming from spawn. D.Va coming from spawn. Be careful.
Would you rather have games?
Max 1 HP, Max 1 HP. Sim asleep on me as well. Sim 1 HP, Sim 1 HP. Empty water.
Would you rather have games?
Would you rather have games?
5 games.
Stop asking about games, I swear.
All the things I can do, and I can't do this.
I got you, Mira. Flick it up. Flick the mouse up.
How embarrassing.
Thank you for the carry team. I got dominated.
No, you did not do that. That was
Yeah, I'm putting that one in the fucking highlight reel.
Walk with me, walk with me, walk with me, walk with me.
Oh.
MTD.
Alright, can you taxi back?
No.
Map is there.
Maybe if you don't get MTD, I'll taxi you.
Shut the fuck up.
all is sleeping.
All is dead.
You're on us. All is You're on us.
No way. I mean, I gotta no way I'm getting res here.
I'm good.
Did my Wi-Fi, bro.
Seraph meeting.
Another Seraph main tank W for the books, boys.
Run behind. Right half. Dragon.
Nice pull, Dragon. Huge.
Get on the cast. Cast one.
Yes.
Oh, that's huge.
6K.
All right, thank you so much, Billy, for that awesome comms check, guys. Make sure to submit your clips to the comms check. Do not forget it. Make our editors' jobs harder, please. More comms checks clips, guys. All right, and we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the cast here with our usual matches to watch this week. And Navino, start us off.
I talked about it earlier in the podcast. I'm gonna say Cosmic Castaways versus Quack Queens. With no bias whatsoever for the Kangaroo org. I have my boys in QQ winning 3-2.
Okay. NPC, what do you got here for your match to watch?
I know we got the Inferno Bowl going on this week, but there's another themed match, okay? And that's Oreo Fleet versus Hammerhead, okay? Battle of the High Seas, okay? I think Oreo Fleet's going to need a bigger boat, all right? Hammerhead have a lot on the line here. They're not doing too well, so I'm predicting 3-1 Oreo Fleet, but I think it's going to be a fun match.
I'm watching Carnage taking on the Billings Boomers. Billings showed up here. They've had kind of an easy road so far, just to be honest with you. They haven't really had much of a challenge. Carnage, finally, I think you'll actually get to see a good matchup here between two pretty good teams. Kind of an opportunity for both teams to make a statement against quality opponents. So would like to see.
That's Wednesday night, isn't it?
It might be. It might be.
Yeah, and there's some pretty pogging casters going on there.
There are. It's me.
Yeah. So that's awesome. All right.
I'm broadcasting.
If I didn't have to play,
that's right. That's right, Dab Master. I'm broadcasting your match.
Got him.
Boy, that's gonna be fun. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here, guys. Just to hype up some stuff coming up here. First and foremost, the biggest announcement I think so far is we are kicking off event week again in about a week and a half, 2 weeks here. And just as a reminder for everybody, fantastic cause for Project Hope, hashtag Hope for Ukraine. Their campaign is going to be outstanding. We're really hoping that we can raise a ton of money for this cause, hoping you guys can help us out with that. But one thing is we have to kick off event week, and we always kick it off on the Sunday prior. And this season, we're going to do something we've never done before, and that's kick it off with a completely different game. For those of you who may or may not know, in the past, we have a well-known community member and a member of our podcast team, our content team here by the name of Train. And Train is well-known among the community for his love and appreciation for the game Team Fight Tactics. He has run 2 Team Fight Tactics tournaments, and we will be continuing his adventure and join up with Train to bring you the Tranquility Team Fight Tactics Tournament. That is the TTFTT3 coming up here on Sunday. That is Sunday, March 27th. It will be broadcast on this very channel. That's right. We'll be broadcasting a Teamfight Tactics tournament here on this channel. It will be a 24-player capped tournament, and preferences will be given to players who are signed or who are on Tranquility teams. That will just be the way things have to work. So 24 players maximum, and there will be a wait list. So sign up as soon as signups are posted. They'll be posted in the next couple days. So stay tuned for that. We'll have them up, and you guys can join up in this really first venture for us into another new game here in Tranquility Gaming. And again, that will kick off our Hope for Ukraine campaign there on March 27th. As a reminder as well, March 28th, that is a normal podcast night, but we will not have the podcast. We will have Content Team 1v1s. That's right. You get the opportunity for a small donation of, I believe it's $10? $5. A $5 donation. We should up it to 10. But
we should, but you know what? I'm going to give him a chance. I might up it to 10 later next week.
Ooh,
maybe it's an early bird special.
Maybe an early bird special. If you want to go and challenge one of the members of the content team, it could be one of us here. It could be Trade. It could be Apathy. It could be Bowsy. It could even be Booth. That's right, Booth. He's the guy who produces and broadcasts so much, and you just want to take out some needless aggression on Booth for some reason. Booth's wonderful.
You know what? It is $10, but I'm going to lower it to $5 right now, just for like a couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're watching the podcast and you want to get on that, I'll give you a discount.
Give you a discount.
I'm doing it right now.
There's limited spots. Limited spots. I believe 18 spots is where we usually call it. So 18 spots. Got to get on this while you can, guys. If you want to challenge one of us, that's any one of us. It could be me. Could be NPC, could be Navino, could be Thuggington. Maybe you want to take.
I don't think
Thuggington
anyone
out.
Challenged me last season.
Nobody did, and I'm stunned by that.
They were all
but that's
scared.
because everybody in Marsupial Gaming, other than you, is 15 years old. So they don't have money of their own.
Cam is old.
That's true. That's true. But
wow, Cam, you gonna take that? Don't talk about my boy.
But if you want to if you want to challenge one of the content team, ! Donate. Pick a content creator. You can note who you want to challenge there. And again, limited spots, 18 spots, and all the 1v1s will be broadcast on this channel. So you'll get the opportunity to enjoy that on that Monday. Again, otherwise, normal stuff coming up this week. We have tonight Predicting Tranquility with Bowsy, as well as I believe he's also going to be joined by Nerfed and Navino tonight, pulling double duty. We have the Harmony Tier EU feature tomorrow. That's Thunderbolt Rewind taking on, and of course I don't have it in front of me right now because I am prepared, caster. Taking on Feeders United, and then the NA feature you have Fire Breathing Rubber Duckies and Big Bang Buccaneers. And Wednesday you have Transcendence Tier action with Carnage against the Billing Boomers, and on Thursday we are gonna give you our Discord tier features. Stepping up to fill and a vacant slot is Oreo Fleet taking on Hammerhead in the Thursday feature as well. And then also on Thursday, tune in for the beat drop. After that, you will have myself joined by Seraph. We'll be interviewing Nova, Twists, Jonesy, and JMX. Looking forward to that on Thursday as well. That is all for announcements today, guys. And now we have our weekly drawing. NPC, who's our big winner?
Our big winner is Kaz from Squall. Congratulations, Kaz. You got yourself a jersey. Get yourself a Squall shirt. Enjoy it while you can. This was your only win. So, you need to bask in that. You got the win of the game, and then you got the win of the drawing, and you've used up all your luck, dude.
Exactly. Make sure you guys get the opportunity there to get in those giveaway entries for next week. Again, we give away a t-shirt every week here on the Iris Podcast, guys. So you're not going to want to miss that. Get those channel points in. Make sure you tune in as well all throughout the coming week. Get those Trank bucks and get into future drawings as well. But for Navino and NPC, I am Mr.
I want to say one thing.
Okay, Swifters has challenged Navino. Very first donation.
Oh,
wait, what?
That sucks.
Yep.
Sorry to.
Yep. Okay.
What hero? What hero?
Content creator 1v1s are $5 just for a little while until tomorrow when I change it back to 10.
What hero is the question though? That's the question I want.
Doesn't say.
Doesn't say. The Swifters. What's gonna be the hero? I'm curious. I want to know.
We want to know, but I don't think it really matters.
Hey. No, don't do a Torb 1v1.
Torb 1v1 has been it's written in the stands. That will be kicking off Monday on March 28th on Content Creator 1v1s. It will be Swifters taking on Navino for the first 1v1, but there are 17 more slots, guys. Get in there while you can.
Slimo, you're old. That's all.
Okay, and
Right.
Juice donated $10 to 1v1 Fortnite. So congratulations, Juice. You're not going to be able to participate.
That's
we're playing Overwatch.
That's really unfortunate. I hate to break it to you.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on. All right, that's about it again tonight. Thank you so much, Navino and NPC, and thank you guys for tuning in and gazing into the iris tonight. I am Mr. Yeti, and we appreciate you guys as always. Stay tuned. Predicting Tranquility is coming right up.
Experience tranquility. Pass into the iris.